Hey Dustin, just got done reviewing your second video, and by the way, my head has felt like it's in a vice too. I don't understand what it is. How is there a head cold going on in Germany right now and in West Virginia that seems to be the exact same? I have no idea, but it certainly is annoying. So I thought you did a great job from right off the bat. I could tell that you were using some motivational interviewing techniques, and we know you're familiar with that. So good. You know, very good job using the open-ended questions, affirmations. There was a point about the 17-minute mark that you did like a nice big summarization of where you were at that point in about half hour, and I thought that was a good point to do that. I just read over your summary as well, and I think we were both kind of thinking along the same lines in terms of getting him back on track and refocused on him throughout the entire time was difficult. You did a good job redirecting him every single time. It may be that, so one suggestion I would say is that if you're, we're looking at the second session, right? And if we're thinking about motivational interviewing, you're still kind of building that rapport with the client. Maybe getting to the point where you're really focusing on his readiness to change. I think a good way to get him staying focused, staying in that lane, could be to just be a little bit more direct, and I don't want to say forceful because that's not the right word, but pull out some of the other techniques that MI offers, or some of the strategies and tools that MI offers at that point, to keep him focused. It was a little bit after the time you did that big summarization. You were kind of hypothesizing that when I took it, his mind was racing, and that's what it seemed like to me. He would start out talking about one thing in his family, and then it went to career, and then things he couldn't change. And I thought you did a really good job. This is where it was, where you were saying, here you've got your career, and that's something you can't change. You got family stuff, and that's what you can't change. How would you like to focus on what things that you can change, essentially? And so at that point, I thought it might have been nice to do something like using the change ruler with him, for MI, if you're going to stick with MI and those techniques, and so that you're able to say, and even get him focused, like literally focus on a piece of paper. Some people, some clients, are more visual in that way, or more tactile, if you will. And so actually handing them a piece of paper with some information can be really useful because it keeps their attention focused. If you're doing more of the person-centered integration with MI to build that rapport, then great. Again, that kind of where you let him go after that point was doing that. You were, kind of taking a back step and letting him voice his concerns and kind of speak freely, speak his mind, right? But if you're wanting to get to more the focus phase, maybe even introducing that change ruler or scaling question, to see, how ready truly is he to take a singular moment for himself, that maybe would help him calm his mind a little bit. And then you could really gauge at that point whether or not you need to stay in the rapport building and stay with the person-centered approaches to a degree, or if you're ready to move on to actually building an action plan with a client. So that would be my suggestion, really, is when you start to feel like, wow, I always just visualize I have a pointer puppy, and my pointer does not run in a straight direction. She's a hunting dog, and she goes zoom, 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 zoom across the road. And so that's what I visualize when people have like a racing mind or an overactive mind, is going from one side to the other in the road. We want to keep somebody focused, right? Like my lab goes straight in a straight line. And so in order to do that, we might have to provide some more direction, okay? And by that, you can pull out some of the tools and techniques that the actual theory that you're using offers. And with MI, you've got that nicely. And they can even be those paper tools that you have to use at your discretion, really, with MI. So, maybe think about that for the next time. You don't have to print anything out necessarily, but if you want to continue kind of using the MI strategies, or think about pulling in some of the cognitive behavioral therapies, that works kind of nicely. Even like brief therapies, I could see playing into this a little bit. expand your reach a little bit, but it might help him focus in actually giving him something physical to do, a physical task to do, be more direct and concrete with what your expectations are, and that's okay. Sometimes we have to be more direct and concrete with our clients to get them to focus. So okay, with that, I'll leave you to it. I hope you're feeling better. I hope your head is out of the vice that it feels like it was in. Mine's getting there slowly but surely, and we will talk soon.